The Kroll Battalion shows up carrying the self-assurance derived from innumerable successes. They are trained members of the Empire's elite, experts in the vicious practice of combat. They've been sent to a distant death world to seize a human outpost. The mission briefing is simple: protect the location and remove any inmates from it. The commanders stress that this isn't a conquest, but a demonstration of supremacy. They're told humanity is a species that's growing yet still delicate. Novices, authentic interstellar newcomers. The Kroll warriors nod in quiet consensus. They're certain this will be just another mark of success, a quick and simple operation added to the Empire's military record. The battalion lands on Earth. Their dropships descend in full force, tearing down through dense air with mechanical precision. Each soldier is clad in advanced exoskeleton armor, fitted with the latest weapons designed to annihilate opposition. As they disembark, they look around, their eyes holding a mixture of curiosity and contempt. To them, this world is nothing more than another battlefield, a test site for their superiority. They receive a final briefing, organize into teams, each one assured of their overwhelming strength and technological edge. They believe mankind will be overpowered swiftly and effortlessly. But as they march toward the human settlements, something feels off. The terrain is strange, uneven, covered in a moss-like material that sticks to their boots. The air is thick with humidity, difficult to breathe even through their filters. But they ignore it, dismissing it as just a minor discomfort, a temporary nuisance. Their confidence is unshaken. They advance, making jokes among themselves. They believe humans are emotionally weak, unfit for real war. They expect a swift victory with little resistance. However, deeper into the landscape, the signs begin, subtle but unsettling. Trees sway without wind. Vines shift position, seemingly alive, reaching out like fingers grasping at shadows. Strange sounds echo in the air, sounds unlike any known creature. Small fauna, quick and nimble, peer at them with glowing eyes, always just out of reach, always watching. At first, the Kroll dismiss it all as the oddities of a primitive world, but an uneasy feeling begins to spread through the ranks. The ground grows softer, fragile, treacherous. Some Kroll stumble and fall, their bulky armor weighing them down. The air grows thicker, heavier. A strange, acrid smell seeps through their filters. Their trusted equipment begins to falter. Static interrupts communications. Targeting systems flicker. Life support indicators show bizarre readings. Still, commanders dismiss it all as minor, instructing their troops to remain disciplined and push forward. But it's getting harder to ignore the warning signs. Some soldiers whisper about being watched, about shadows that shift, leaves that seem to move just out of sight, shapes in the corners of their vision. Too fast for sensors, but too real to ignore. Even the bravest among them start to doubt. Commanders call for a brief stop to reassess the situation, but they won't admit fear. They won't accept weakness. This is a world of primitives, they remind their soldiers. We are Kroll. Nothing here can stop us. They press on, determined to reach the outpost before nightfall. But as the sun sets, the forest comes alive. The canopy thickens. Darkness creeps in, and the sounds grow louder, closer, haunting, surrounding them from every direction. Suddenly weapons are raised. They sense something, but they can't see it. What they don't know is that humans have been watching, waiting, calculating the perfect moment to strike. Scouts, camouflaged in the terrain, observe every step, estimating, predicting, preparing. This isn't a battlefield. It's a trap, a game of death, and humans are playing by their own rules. The first day ends without a direct confrontation, but doubt has taken root. The Kroll continue their march, unaware they are already prey. They venture deeper into the woods. Their heavy boots sink into moist, spongy ground. Trees twist tighter. Branches knit together overhead. Sunlight fades. And then, the first scream. The ground collapses. Hidden pits lined with spikes open beneath their feet. Soldiers fall screaming, impaled. Explosions follow, mines, charges buried beneath the moss. Chaos erupts. The disciplined formation is shattered. Some soldiers are torn apart. Others flee for cover. Panic sets in. This wasn't supposed to happen. The Krull were ready for war, but not this. Commanders shout, trying to restore order, but it's too late. Morale has cracked. This mission was supposed to be simple, but now they realize they've underestimated humanity. The forest isn't neutral, it's an ally. It fights with the humans, and it's just getting started. Sniper fire rains from the trees. Precision shots pick off soldiers one by one. The Krull spin, firing blindly into the shadows. Plasma bolts flash, but the targets are already gone. Humans vanish only to strike again from another angle, always moving, always hidden. Sensors are jammed. Communications are scrambled. Screams echo. The Krull begin shooting at ghosts. They are not used to this kind of war. They're used to domination, not desperation. This is guerrilla warfare, human warfare. Adaptable, clever, ruthless. The Krull push deeper, and the land turns against them. Trees release toxic spores. Filters fail. Soldiers cough and choke. Rashes spread. Eyes burn. Skin blisters. Creatures, once passive, now swarm. Tiny animals bite through armor with surgical precision. Larger predators emerge from the brush, dragging soldiers into the dark, never to be seen again. And now the Krull finally understand. They are not just fighting humans. They are fighting everything: the planet, the air, the trees, the ground itself. Humans have mastered this environment, turned it into a living weapon. Every path is a trap. Every sound is a warning. Every moment is a step closer to death. Confidence fades. Fear rises. The forest is no longer background noise, it's a predator, and the Krull are prey. Commanders rally, trying to regroup, but soldiers fire at shadows, at rustling leaves. Some fall into traps. Others succumb to poison. Their numbers dwindle, not through open battle, but by constant invisible attacks. The Krull realize they are not just outmatched, they are outclassed. This was never about brute strength. This is a war of minds, and humans are winning. Dawn breaks, but for the Krull there is no light, only the creeping dread of a war they can't understand, a war they've already lost. The trap is sprung, and the Krull battalion is caught. Their fear keeps expanding, feeding on itself with every minute that goes by. Paranoia grows. Accusations begin to fly within the Krull ranks. Soldiers point fingers at one another for mistakes, for cowardice, for walking into traps. Quick outbursts of violence erupt between them, a sign of the breakdown of discipline. As dust spreads and confusion thickens, the chain of command weakens. Some soldiers become incapable of handling the ongoing uncertainty. Worry grows. Deserters begin vanishing into the wind. Humans take advantage of this chaos. In the jungle, deserters are captured and extracted, offering valuable details on enemy plans, commanders, and positions. Understanding the risk of internal collapse, Krull commanders frantically try to preserve order. They switch strategies. They try to imitate the guerrilla tactics used by humans. They split their forces into smaller groups, ordered to relocate, silently to set traps to adopt the human perspective. But their attempts are awkward. They lack the grace, the comprehension, the instinct of their adversaries. These tactics are second nature to humans, tools to survive. Humans, vanishing and reappearing at will, avoid direct combat. They continue to stay one step ahead, predicting every Krull move and striking with speed and precision. The Krull, once the predators, now feel like the prey. They understand this isn't a backward species. This is an enemy turning every weakness into a weapon. Humans fight with a fierceness and inventiveness the Krull have never encountered. They don't follow conventional rules of war. They fight. With all their intelligence, their intuition refined by a lifetime of surviving in extreme environments. The Krull's numbers decline, not just in battle, but from the stress of fighting an invisible, unpredictable enemy. Resources are stretched thin. Morale has never been lower. Commander options dwindle. They're always being outwitted, and their confidence has collapsed. What started as an offensive to capture a human outpost has become a desperate struggle to survive. And the insight begins to set in. They underestimated this enemy. They misjudged humanity. Humans are more than warriors. They are hunters, survivors. They use their surroundings as weapons. They adapt. They persist. And that persistence is terrifying. As Kroll leaders seek new tactics, a sobering truth dawns. They weren't prepared for this. They prepared for open warfare, but they are losing to an enemy that weaponized the very land they stand on. Humans turned flexibility into their strongest asset. The Kroll aren't fighting to win anymore. They are fighting to survive. Their enemy shows no fatigue, no surrender, no pity. Kroll commanders replace their trust with grim determination. Desperation creeps in. They request reinforcements for the last attack, a final push.